take a toke, and all my cares go up in smoke. One toke over the line, sweet Jesus, one toke over the line. A bag of weed, oh, everything is better with a bag of weed. You can try and fight, but we're all agreed, because everything is better with a bag of weed.
Welcome to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour on KKID 92.9, where the green wave meets the airwaves. Jump on the bus and see what Waxy and the gang are up to this week. 2 hours of Canna Talk Radio. Listen to Waxy, Steve, and Tim legally rock and legally roll on the Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour.
Man, the Waxy show's gonna be dope. I am a cannabis man.
Hey, everybody. That's right. Relax, relax. A little more indica in the crowd. That's right. I am a cannabis man, and I am here with my cannabis fam. This is going to be a wild show. Welcome back, Billy. That's right, Billy's back in the studio, so we're up on the YouTube channel out there. We appreciate you guys checking that out. Go over there, subscribe it, or however you do it. I don't even know how YouTube's work. I don't even know, like.
Isn't it a blessing he's back?
Thank you, Billy, for being back. Right on, man. And then we got Steve at the helm. What's up, Steve? We got Tim Harms over here, my co-host, man. The co-host with the most over here doing his thing. And on the microphone today, we got my good friend Joey Carpenter of Camp Cannabis. What's up, Joey?
Not much.
Drove all the way from St. Louis, man. We appreciate that, fam. Welcome to the program. And we do mean Graham around here.
Now, Camp Cannabis is a cultivation center up in the St. Louis area, kind of in the downtown area.
Yeah, we're gonna talk all about it.
What's your square footage you guys are up to now?
We're gonna get into that after the lineup.
After the lineup,
we're gonna talk all about this.
All right,
and then we're gonna jump into it.
All right, then we'll do that.
Thanks for asking, Steve. I wanted to know too.
That was the only question I had. You know,
sorry.
And then pried him on to the rest of it.
Look, he must have found his card.
I got to play clown and ringmaster here, and I'm comfortable with that. All right. And I've also got my hemp guy, Justin Trowbridge, is calling into the show today with a good friend of ours, David Owens, out there, who's doing some pretty wild things in the cannabis spaces. We're going to talk about that. And check this out, guys. I've got the star of High on Cannabis from the Netflix special, High on Cannabis, the show, Chef Mike DeLeo. Okay, now Chef Mike, he's going to be at the Blaze event in Union Station June 3rd and 4th. That's being put on by Midwest Canna Expos, one of our dopest sponsors out there. So we're going to have a conversation with him about cooking and cannabis, the Netflix stuff, and about what he's looking forward to here at Blaze. That's going to be dope too. So I had a question about flavonoids the other day, and I realized that that's something probably a lot of us don't know about is flavonoids. And so I wanted to get some of that education information out there, and the best way we can do that is through this platform. So we called our good friend Morgan Coffey of Doctor's Hemp Solutions, who puts out a lot of good flavonoid products, and we're going to have him on to explain that. Like we're gonna do it Sesame Street style. What is a flavonoid? And we're gonna talk about that. Today's show is brought to you by the letter F. And it is flavonoids with Morgan. So this is going to be a great conversation. And I've got my buddy Ron Bass calling in from Alaska, right? So we got the recreational scene popping up there, and they're having a great time with it. But he's going to tell us about what that's like up there, and then we're going to kind of compare that to what the Ozarks are like next week when I've got another friend of mine, Nick Woodward's going to be on from the Dab Stars there. So we're going to talk about the different types of culture out there. You know, we talk to Trowbridge all the time about New Mexico, and we know we've got friends down in Texas, and which I think they're looking. Texas just said they got enough signatures. I believe they announced today enough signatures for decriminalization down there. So they're not even at that medical standard yet, man. Wild, right? Like. I guess we were just there a few years ago, though. So we're going to talk to that. And I got here right big and bold on here, Joey time. So it's Joey time. Joey, welcome to the program, man. Welcome to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, my friend. Yeah, let's do that, man. All right. So let's talk about something. I want to ask you a question I ask a lot of folks that I have on this show. And I'm going to ask you about your path to cannabis, Joey. Like, I want to know, some folks, maybe they scored some pot for the first time from their Uncle Gary's garage, or, and that's probably a saloon somewhere. I don't even know. But or maybe it's person's 58 years old and goes into a dispensary for the first time, and that's the first time they discovered it because they got a doctor's recommendation. Or maybe there's there's that situation where you worked at Hardee's, and maybe that's the first place you scored a little pop. But tell us, what's the path to cannabis like for you? Now that it's legal, we can tell these stories and talk about that, and like the things that we went through and the trials, tribulations behind what we had to do to score a grass or whatever, however you want to say it, But what was that like for you? How did cannabis enter your life?
So, growing up in Columbia, it happened pretty young.
All right, Columbia's dope.
Yeah, Columbia, Missouri, because it was everywhere.
It's a very green area, yeah.
Yeah, it was everywhere in it. So I was probably about 12 years old whenever I discovered it, and my brother, he had bags laying around in his room all the time.
Yeah.
And so I ended up snagging some of those.
Snag some of your brother's herb. That was the doorway, huh?
Yeah, I'm kind of ratting on myself right now. I don't know if I've ever told him that. So maybe.
Is he listening?
Maybe.
This is a great place to do that.
Yep. This is a great place. A lot of people come out of the can of closet on this show, and then a lot of them expose their criminal activities to their brothers. So it's okay. You're in a safe place here, bro. Like you're on the Flower Power Hour. It's a good time, man. So let's talk about that for a second, because now I'm just a little bit curious, because back then we didn't have good cannabis around in this area. It was some brick that came from other countries, and it wasn't that great. Talk to me for a second about what your first experiences were with cannabis compared to what you're doing nowadays, and we'll talk about that. But compared to the flower that you're cultivating, you and your team out there at Camp Cannabis, which is they've got some. I've seen the pictures, bro.
Oh yeah, we got some good stuff.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about trash, and then now you got industry. Let's talk about that.
Okay, so whenever I first started smoking, Columbia actually had some pretty good stuff, actually. But it was highly, highly expensive.
Oh.
We're talking we're talking like 20, 25 a gram.
Yeah.
It was like, and keep in mind I was young, so that might have been just for me too. I don't know.
Yeah, you might have got the tax, huh? Exactly. They got you on that tax. Yeah.
But it was actually good for a while, and then I started buying, the brick stuff because it was a lot cheaper, and the guy I got it from I could trust a lot better because it was, I don't know, I felt like it was sketchy in Columbia,
Yeah.
so there was very few people, that I tried going to, especially at a young age. Some people after.
But didn't compare to what you're growing now.
Yeah, no, compared to what I'm growing now, definitely not.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah, definitely doesn't compare to anything I can get my hands on.
And that's kind of the thing too. Like a lot of folks don't have like a really trusted source, and they go to these black market sources, and a lot of things aren't. That's not a good way for some people. It's not a good path. A lot of folks need those dispensaries. They need that industry to be there, and because it helps a lot of people come out of the canna closet too. Like
it really does. Yes, I know a lot of people that came out whenever those dispensaries started opening up.
Yeah, some of the dispensaries that we've been to at some of these events and stuff, some of my favorite moments are when I'm just stepping back watching, and you'll see two people in a community eyeball each other and say, hey, and they it's a new kind of hello. It's not the hello when they see each other at Kroger. It's the hello like, oh my gosh, you too. Like it's that kind of hello.
Right, yep.
Those are my favorites, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so let's talk about camp for a second. What tell me, just pop off. My listeners love to hear different strains and stuff. What do you guys got popping?
So right now, probably my favorite, to be honest, personally, is the ice wine.
Ice wine,
really good. Then we got the Gorilla Dosha.
What?
We got the Ice Burn, pint size. And
what's
you can
pint size, bro? Is that like a ice cream cake mix or something? What's that?
Oh,
man.
Pint size.
Is that an indica?
Pint size, yeah. Yep. So, man, oh my gosh, put me on the spot. I can't
No, you're good, bro. You're good. All right, let's talk square footage. Steve wanted to know some square footage. What's Camp Cannabis got going on?
So roughly, we're a facility in St. Louis. We're like 120,000 square feet, I believe. We haven't expanded into all of it yet.
Right.
I think we're using about 30, maybe.
About
That's
30 to
35.
start, right? Yeah, which is still good.
Only 30,000 square
yeah.
feet. That's all.
Yeah,
Okay.
we still got to get into making, manufacturing,
Yeah.
products, like extracts and whatnot before we can.
Are you
expand
guys? So you
further.
guys have a manufacturing license as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, we have everything we need to extract. We just, not the team yet. We're a brand new startup company.
Very cool. We love the mom and pops, man. That's dope. So I know some of your team comes from Arizona.
Yep.
Brings
Yep.
us up, man,
Cultivate. Yep. Director of cultivation.
bringing that
reporter.
West Coast knowledge.
West Coast style, I think, is exactly how he put it, right?
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly, that's like the easiest way to put it.
Yeah, and you can see that through their branding. Like I follow them on LinkedIn, and they've got some absolutely cool marketing out there. When you talk about the camp culture and all that, like it's pretty neat. And as a deadhead, like I dig camping and I like the experience and all that. I think y'all ought to put out like a dope s'mores bar. Like a camp s'mores bar. That'd be fire, bro. You heard it first. Tell your people, man.
Might have to put that word in. Have to put that word in.
Camp Cannabis, man. That's dope. So I think Steve's going to take us to a little bit of music and a break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk to Joey a lot more in Camp Cannabis. And we're going to talk to Justin Trowbridge, and our buddy David Owens is going to be on the phone. So it's going to be a really cool conversation. I really appreciate you all listening. This show wouldn't be what it is without folks listening to us and being able to have that audience. We really appreciate you guys wanting to know more about cannabis and hemp. And when we get back, that's talk. We're going to talk about hemp. You guys are listening to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, a K-Kid 92.9 Salem, Rolla, but we're streaming everywhere, baby.
Blue Sage, America's cannabis deli. Come see your buds, say hi. Weed's legal now, you won't get arrested.
We've got a dab bar.
We're clean and quality tested. Local, organic, so touch, look, and smell. Put a bounce in your step, leave feeling swell. Medical decisions should not be made based on advertising. Please consult a physician on the benefits and risks of medical marijuana products.
Hi, bud.
Blue Sage, America's cannabis deli. Visit bluesagecanna.com. Come see your buds and say hi.
Crossroads Corner is back. Stop by the shop at 113 West 4th Street in downtown Salem. Check out the all-new merchandise and all-new lower prices. Everything from band tees, women's clothing, tapestries, and home decor to a fully stocked glass room with multiple options for CBD and Delta 8. You can also schedule an appointment in-store to get your Missouri medical marijuana card. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6. Crossroads Corner in downtown Salem. Be sure to like us on Facebook.
Blaze.
Missouri Brand Showcase is coming to historic St. Louis Union Station this June 3rd and 4th. Blaze has much to offer patients and consumers as well as industry insiders. Workshops and educational sessions plus interactive demonstrations like glass blowing and an infused kitchen will be featured along with the most prominent cannabis brands in the Midwest. If you need a medical card, Blaze will feature a patient certification drive with hundreds of free certifications available. For information on exhibiting or to purchase tickets to attend, go to blazemissouri.com.
Hey, it's your
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, K-Kid 92.9, where sometimes we cough. What's up, Justin Trowbridge? The hemp guy is on the line. What's cracking, Captain?
What's going on, man? Not a lot. Just enjoying some nice weather down here in the recreational state of New Mexico.
Yeah, so New Mexico's gone a little wild down there with their rec scene, right? Like, I think they did like 5.5 million in sales on like 420 weekend or something like that. Wasn't there some crazy number?
That was the first 48 hours.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't even 420, and the green rush of getting all that product to the shelves and all that kind of stuff is hitting us hard. We're actually starting to see some shortages, and It's one of those things where it just builds up, and at some point that wave has got to crash. So we're riding through it.
Well, I'm just curious. Does that kind of market down there? Does it whenever you have a shortage on the THC side? Do the other cannabinoids tend to pick up sales?
It's almost like you knew that was the question that we needed to ask David Owen, who happens to have a dispensary down here.
David Owen is on the line. What's up, David? How you doing, buddy?
What's up, guys?
Good.
Great to be with you guys today.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on the show, man. We always love our conversations with you, man. You've always got great perspective.
Thanks. And so who do we have? We got Waxy, Justin. Is Tim here today?
Oh yeah, Tim's in studio. Tim, you'll want to be on the mic if you want to talk.
Oh yeah, how's it going, brother?
Good to hear your voice, Tim.
Yep, and we got Joey Carpenter from Camp Cannabis. We got Steve at the helm here, and we got our Billy, our AV guy, and we got you and Justin. So and we got about 60,000 listeners out there listening too. So we'll include them in the conversation too. So welcome to the program.
Thanks, guys. What do you want to talk about today? I could go on and on, but I think I have a good solid 15, 20 minutes.
Good. Where are your dispensaries located?
We just got our first 2 dispensaries open this past week in Albuquerque. So in the New Mexico adult use market. And one of them is really our flagship location. We have 13 leases signed like across the state. They're all in different stages of construction, permitting, so on and so forth. But the flagship location is right at 2015 Eubanks Northeast. It's a major intersection there in Albuquerque. And this building, which Justin actually got to come check out like on 420 last week. It used to be a U.S. bank.
Oh, wow.
So it's big, has the big drive-through in a municipality where they allow drive-through. So we're really excited about that. We're still bringing in some technology to facilitate the drive-through process. But that's going to be our, definitely our premier location. We have another one in Albuquerque on San Mateo, another main drive. The rest are just kind of scattered out across the state.
Now, what's the brand name? Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, what's your brand name?
The retail locations are called Dreams with a Z, so DREAMZ, and our cultivation and manufacturing is under the Enchanted Farms brand with PH. Of which Justin just donned.
I see Justin did put on the Enchanted Farms hat.
This is my new fly fishing hat. Like, I can't wait to get out and hook some trout with this thing on, man. But
that's your high fishing hat.
Yeah.
Good.
High mountain, high fishing.
David, let's talk about the New Mexico scene for just a second, because here in Missouri, we're very blessed because we're in the Ozarks, right? So we have lots of farmland, lots of ability to grow, lots of indoor and outdoor marketable cannabis. And even some people that are doing hybrids of all that. But there in New Mexico, it's a little bit different of a scene down there with their water rights and things like that. Talk to us a little bit about what you've experienced since the adult use market has opened there. And I think it opened April 1st?
April 1st is when the actual sales were allowed, but the law changes associated with it happened this past August. And that's kind of when all the permitting got kicked off. But and just to let the audience know, like my background is from Arkansas, and I'm actually like in Arkansas right now. I'll be in New Mexico later this week. New Mexico, I've lived in New Mexico previously, so I was a little familiar with kind of what was going on out there and in Colorado. But what we've seen so far is, talking about the water rights, that really ends up being where you live in the state, and it could be different in each different part. A lot of people, they have their property, but they may not have had their water rights, and they didn't realize that. Thankfully, the location that we ended up with, it was a former it was a former frozen foods facility called Proper Foods in Deming, New Mexico, right off of Interstate 10. And thankfully, there was a hemp operation going on in the building and on the property for the last couple of years. And they had actually built, some $1 million Conley greenhouse structures right behind that frozen foods facility. And so even though it wasn't completely turnkey, but we were able to come into a really nice facility that was also on city water, and also in a municipality where Deming so far has been very welcoming, and what I would consider business friendly. What you do run up into New Mexico, and I was familiar with this when I lived there in the past, is it's overall a large state that doesn't have a ton of people. It is pretty sparsely populated, and it's underfunded, it's understaffed, in the government offices, and you end up dealing with that in a number of different ways. It's also kind of a quirk that the cannabis program is regulated by the real estate and land office.
Wait a second. Their cannabis is regulated by a real estate office, a state real estate office?
The RLD, and overall, it's just the Cannabis Control Office. They've had a lot of trouble just with turnover, just like everybody else. And there's, I feel like the governor is very cannabis friendly, and that has helped push things along. You kind of have a situation where the state is friendly toward it. Most of the municipalities and politicians are very friendly towards it, and they're pushing to get it along. But oftentimes it doesn't move fast enough, and especially for the new guys like us that haven't been around in the medical market, that has been there 10 years.
Well, you have been around for a while, though. I mean, you were pretty big in the hemp scene with Arkansas, where you had the R&D license, and then you guys have connections into Texas that have the minor cannabinoids that I was really excited to see you guys backfilling, inventory, because I know you have your grow in the ground. You're growing 16,000 plants or something like that. So
that's right. We have the top tier. When I was saying new, we are one of the entities that is new to the New Mexico market, and we are doing the same. Like with our product line, we're doing a lot of the same things that you've mentioned here, that like in our other brands that we've developed, which we have the Washita Farms brand that you see heavily in Arkansas and Tennessee, down into Mississippi, and now the Brazos Farms brand that is in the retail associated with that's specifically for the Texas market. Those are kind of the areas we concentrate on. And in fact, our partners out in New Mexico, For Dreams and Enchanted Farms, they're both from Texas, and their main businesses and retail are in Texas. And we kind of feel like everything that we're doing at this point, like out in New Mexico is obviously to serve that market, but we're definitely doing batting practice for when these things are allowed, in a fuller way in Texas.
Very cool. I know Texas needs that. Texas is, we've covered it on the show before, and they're looking at a decriminalization bill right now. They've put signatures on, but they really need to see some legalization down there, because a lot of the Mexico cannabis and cartel cannabis is because Mexico itself as a country went fully legal. So they're getting rid of gray market, black market product down there in Texas, when those people need clean, tested, grown here in the United States of America medicine.
They're completely surrounded at this point by legal cannabis in some form or another. And, they do have I'd be remiss to not mention the medical program that they do have, which I don't think normal even considers it a medical program, but it's essentially a medical hemp program.
Right.
They enhance the THC limit from 0.5% to 1%. So watch out. But they haven't opened up any sort of processing application in years, like to even let anyone in on that very limited side. And so we're hoping that in Texas, it'll eventually, the tide will turn and they'll kind of go the way that they went with hemp, which I like their approach to hemp. You know, their consumable hemp program is actually very progressive as far as what it just openly allows you to do. It allows you to do a lot of things that on the federal level, we've been waiting on the FDA to declare. Some states have just got tired of waiting and went ahead and wrote it into their hemp regulations. And as long as we can keep the Delta 8, hawks at bay then in the state, then Texas they'll continue to be a good place to operate at least our hemp operations out of.
Sure, it'd be really weird if Texas wasn't for the Farm Bill, which really helped, normalize access of cannabinoids to lots and lots of folks. It's really helping this plant along a lot that the Farm Bill did.
It did. I really think it helped move things along, and that when we got into hemp, we didn't even know that these psychoactive, the psychoactive components that are derived from hemp would quickly dominate the market. I mean, we really had no idea. At the time, I was interested in getting into that side of the market after the signing of the Farm Bill, just because I saw the opportunity of, for a while, we'll be able to make real cannabis products that really could be sold anywhere. And that's still a big part of our strategy. I mean, we want our brands and our products to be seen not just in the dispensaries, but anywhere.
Yeah, just when you think about it, I don't know if anybody's done the numbers on it, but just the jobs alone that the Farm Bill created through the cannabinoids, like it's kind of an intense. It's a really cool market to me.
So David,
it really is. I mean, there's some numbers over in Tennessee. They've had a challenge. Potential challenge to Delta 8, but they've amended it, and it's going to go the way where they're just going to regulate it instead, it looks like. And I think that the lobbying group over there said that if they were to disrupt that hemp market, that it would be, I think it was $7 or $8 million a year in annual tax revenue, just in the one state, conservative projections. Extrapolated out, especially in these states that don't have access to a real cannabis market yet. I mean, it's really the main way for people to access cannabis. So.
Perfect.
Yeah, David, hey, tell everybody out there your story about from Ouachita Farms and where you started at in Hot Springs to where, Justin and I talked about it after we left when we met the very first time. Your nimbleness and your ability to flow in business in this industry is absolutely incredible.
Well, I appreciate that. Sometimes you try to roll with the punches because that's what it feels like. But one thing I think I learned early on in this is that there are a lot of charlatans, and you see a lot of people kind of playing the same games. And I believe that eventually the good operators kind of all end up working together. That's why I like a lot of you guys, just because, the bad actors kind of get weeded out. And just to briefly touch on our background and kind of how we went about building these brands. I'm originally from Arkansas, but I was living in Colorado during the rollout of recreational out there, and was involved in the program out there really just as a consumer and as a patient. I I got into Rick Simpson oil, RSO, and I had come out of I had moved out to Colorado right after surgery for Crohn's disease. They did a resection in 2010 and removed like 4 feet of my small bowel. And I just dealt with a number of issues related to that before I found Rick Simpson. And a lot of the drugs that they had prescribed me after surgery, like Remicade and Humira, had a number of cancer risk associated with it. And my wife and I are both cancer survivors. I was a kid when I had cancer, but I was just scared away by a lot of that stuff. And so when I found Rick Simpson oil, I had already been a true believer in cannabis, and the effects of it, because pre-surgery, I had to rely on it for a year to be able to eat. I mean, my body was completely rejecting food pre-surgery. And after I found Rick Simpson oil and really was already a true believer, but I was like, man, there is really something here, for people with GI disorders, there's absolutely something here. And then when I moved back to Arkansas, 2016, it was still a few years after that Arkansas got their hemp program off the ground. It was literally right after the signing of the Farm Bill. So that got signed December 2018, and then the very next month, Arkansas had opened up their licensing. We licensed up with a hat trick of grower, processor, seed labeler, and I knew that I wanted to make a concentrate similar to Rick Simpson oil out of the hemp, but I had also been around out in Colorado long enough where I had seen solventless as a long sustaining trend. And even though I love BHO2 and a lot of these other extracts, if I know who's doing it and that it's purged correctly, like I really just love rosin and I love hash. I love little hash, and that's, I mean,
the man after our own heart here.
I mean, that's what I decided to, if I was going to be building a brand on the hemp side, that even there, I wanted to do it with rosin and hash. And so that's what we did. Like both our hemp brands, Washita Farms and Brazos Farms, they're both distinctly local brands, right? But they're based with rosin. And so that's like all of our edibles, all of our tinctures and capsules, they're very effective, even being under the 0.3% total THC. We've even before we had psychoactive things like Delta 8 and HHC, we would always go right to the line of Delta 9 because, I mean, the federal government, they legalized THC without really knowing it.
Yeah, I used to get 30 of your magic brownies that were hemp-derived D9 every month, like without fail. Then it became 30 brownies and 15 cookies, and then your guys started recognizing my address, so they'd throw in an extra brownie or two. I mean, it's a good group of people to know.
Awesome stuff. Well, what a great conversation. David, we really appreciate you. Y'all in New Mexico, if you're out there, check out Dreams and Enchanted Farms because, man, what a great brand. We got to meet them, and we've experienced their products out there at that Lucky Leaf Expo. It was wonderful. Thanks so much, David. And, Justin, I want to say thank you so much from everybody here at the show because it's a true story that before you came along, this was a THC show. And you have really opened our eyes with these guests and these conversations to what the hemp plant can bring and why and how. Well, basically, you took our show and you made it full spectrum, my friend, and I'm just grateful for that, okay?
Glad I could do that. It's that Masters of Marketing that Tim likes to remind people I got at one point.
Yeah, we wield it around here. Trust me, baby. All right. We appreciate you guys. Yep.
Thanks, David.
Have a
See you
great
guys.
rest of your day.
We're going to let Steve do his job, and he's going to play some tunes for us over here at K-Kid, and we appreciate everybody. You guys are listening to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour on K-Kid 92.9. We'll catch you guys in just a little bit. everybody, welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, where we're having a blast. I want to give a big shout out to my friend Sankin. She's tuning in out there. She just hollered at me.
It's about time she does.
Yeah. So we have got just an absolute wonderful guest on the line. We've got Chef. Chef, you there?
Yes, I am. I'm here. How are you?
Awesome stuff, man. So we've got the Blaze event coming up, which is going to be really wild. That's going to be at Union Station in St. Louis.
Yeah, Union Station for sure. Yeah.
And Chef Mike DeLeo, right? That's how I say your last name.
Yeah, you said it right.
Mike DeLeo. Yeah, right on, man. I'm in. So Chef Mike is going to be there, and I want to give you guys a little background on Chef Mike. Chef Mike was on a really, really cool show called Cooking on High on Netflix, and I'll tell you what, I'm a fan of that show, and so I'm really stoked to have you on, Chef Mike. And I know you also have a background with CannabisPlanet.com, correct?
Yeah. We were like one of the first TV shows, at least, that was just like going for it, right? Like it was 2009 when we started, so. We were basically buying infomercial time on cable channels and just, running a show and then giving up places for the legal or like the 215 market, I guess we'll call it now, in California, giving them a place where they could advertise, right? So it was fun. I was just a little guy, and I came on to do my little couple segments of cooking, and I was already a chef for years. So like when I tried out, it was really just to do activism because we were still trying to make it legal, and California hadn't passed the laws yet. So we were still like, I was just doing it to try to get the word out there that you didn't just have to, it didn't have to always just be sweet. Most of my stuff I always cooked with a lot of savory dishes, and I tried to do a lot of juicing and detoxing and stuff like that. So that's at least where I come from. I come from like a background of healing foods and dealing with cancer and epilepsy. It's kind of like where my road ended up going towards. I started helping a lot of patients that were really sick, and the only thing I could really do was just feed them, right? So I went to restaurants in Orange County, where I'm from in California, and they had like raw food and detoxing. So I just worked for them for free for a few years, and then learned all that. And then I just started dealing with that in the cannabis community. So I have a couple of books that are like, my sections are just juicing. So like the Cannabis Kitchen Cookbook that's out there, you can just get it on Amazon. I wrote the whole juicing segment. So it's all about like, healing you from the inside. It's kind of like where I'm coming from. What I see with cannabis more, it isn't like, I'm not into like as much of like let's go get, stoned every day and this and that. I see it more of like a medicine because if you just think about it, we have the endocannabinoid system, and if you don't have you don't have cannabinoids to feed the endocannabinoid system, then you would just be lacking that no matter what's happening. So, like that's how I see it, right? So if we have systems that will, accept it, that are already made for that, I would think we probably should be ingesting it. So for me, I think it's more also about hemp. Like if you just think about like how we grew up, like how we've evolved. We've been eating hemp for years and years and years, right? As all of the tools and food and medicine, right? So that's only been out of our food source for like the last 100 years once they outlawed it. So right, then also cancer started coming on and all these things. So I don't think it's like a new medicine or new anything. It's just we're going back to like the natural state where we evolved with the plant. Because we have fruit that has been used for that many years. We already know like it's way more advanced than whatever I used to preach. I've been a chef forever, and I was one of the first ones that just like gave it a chance, and I put my career on the line. And it didn't matter because we were trying to help sick people, right? So it wasn't really about like where we are now. Now it's different. I can go back now. I can like see that all the access is there. So what I'm trying to do now is just teach people how to do it for themselves. I guess is my main goal in life right now.
Handing that power over, that is so cool. One of the things I absolutely love about your show is, and I've heard you say this a couple times, is that you kind of look at THC and these plants and the cannabinoids as a vitamin. Talk about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about, just like I said, like we have that system, right? So we already know that all these cannabinoids affect our body in certain ways. So why do we make synthetic drugs for that? That's my main thing is like, we know that this one plant fills all those needs, right? And that's already like so much science. Like before I used to like sound like a charlatan, right? Now I'm just like, look it up. There's like 100, different studies. And now it's going to be even worse with more studies that they're just letting it out. Like if you just think about, for me, honestly, what I think, just think of like evolution, right? Okay, we've been using that plant for hundreds of years, right? Medicines and just rope or whatever, right? Textiles. Okay, like I'm talking hemp and cannabis. To me, they're like the same. One just produces more THC, one produces more CBD. If you can look at it in my mind like that, because they're cousins, right? And like I'm even starting getting into the new hemp flower, smoking that because I'm getting older and I can't really get as high as I used to. So to me, hemp flower has been amazing. Like guys are growing hemp flower that's like 40% CBD, and I can smoke like one big cigar of that, and then that gets me better than where I'm out of control with too much THC, right? So if you are in these states that you don't have like real access to the THC, the new hemp products that are coming out they're so good.
Yeah.
Like maybe you're not getting as like mind high, or maybe you're not getting as your eyes, but for the relief that because I'm looking more always for someone that's sick. So like if you need relief, like your pain or your joints hurt or stuff like that, the hemp products that are coming out and the new flower that's being grown, it's really nice. And then they're making all these new oils and pens that I can't even believe it. Well, I'm definitely getting into like that side of it because I'm starting making stuff for older chefs like me. So I got like a soap line coming out that's going to have CBD in it, and it's like made to like massage your hands and all that. Like I'm an older dude, so like for me, that's the way I'm looking at things now, right? I'm like trying to help out all the guys that have been working for 20 years in the kitchen and that know that they don't want to take the pills. And that's what they first gave me was like, so I was like down the line in downtown Disney. I used to work for Naples restaurant. It was like a huge one in downtown Disney, about $11 million a year. And we were cranking, and then I hurt myself. I got a pinched nerve in my back. They instantly gave me pain pills and like muscle relaxers. So I was like 23. I was eating those like 6 packets in a day, like 2 before shift, 2 mid shift, right? 2 on the way home to go to sleep, and then drinking to go to the bed, right? So that's how I got my recommendation. So I went to the doctor, and they were like, "You're getting out of control." So I was working like 2 jobs, 7 a.m. to 11 at night, and then when I went to the marijuana doctor or the cannabis doctor, he was like, "You're the prime candidate. You're going to be strung out on opiates before you're 25." And then I was like, "Okay." And then he told me to eat cookies, right? Or not cookies. He told me to eat cannabis. And then I went to this first like shop, and all he had was cookies. And I said, "I'll make them for free. Doesn't that mean make you better cookies? Because your cookies taste like dirt weed." Or whatever you want to call it. I was like, I want them to taste glorious, right? So then that's how I got into the world of this.
Very
right?
cool.
I was a chef first. I was a chef, and then like once I got into that, the guy that mentored me, he was only into healing people, and like his son had muscular dystrophy. So like that's all we were worried about was like making his son's life progress, right? And that's where I come from. So I'm not like, I don't know any other way from thinking about helping sick people, I guess.
Well,
anyway.
I'll tell you something, just the perspective, because we do say food is medicine, right? And so is cannabis.
Yeah.
And when you combine those two powers together, what a wonderful medicine. I do want to touch on you talked about savory dishes. I did watch your video with the nochi, by the way, and I got super hungry before the show. That was pretty wild, man. And but I do want to talk about Blaze a little bit. We got the Blaze event coming up at Union Station. That's put on by Midwest Canna Expos, who are sponsors of this show. We love those cats. And you're going to be in the St. Louis area there at that event doing are you doing a demo?
Yeah, I'm going to be on stage a couple times. So for sure I'm going to do some stuff from Cooking on High because, I know that's what they want to see. So for sure I'm going to probably, one day I'll do gnocchi, and then the next thing I'll probably do the shrimp dish because I won both of those, So I know they want to see it. I know people want to see it. And then I'm also known for, like, I think they have us doing, like, maybe a breakfast, lunch, dinner, so we can be on stage 3 times. And then what we've been talking about today is maybe we could do, like, a competition thing. Maybe not at this event, but like starting the next one where we can do like 2-on-2 chefs because I'm from Cali and the other 2 guys are from Arizona. And I was thinking, I'll bring my chef with me from Cali, and then we can do like 2-on-2. So I'm trying to work that, maybe next time. But for sure, what I'm going to cook is
a battle of the Bud biscuits. That'd be fire.
yeah, it would be great. And like we've all been on TV, so like all of us, even one of my guys. I work with Eat Week Catering. Shout out to Eat Week Catering. I work with them, and like he's been on stuff too. So like, we definitely would have a very good show doing it like a 2-on-2 situation. So I am very.
That'd be awesome.
Everyone, like, if you come to the event, and there's going to be 3 of us chefs. So the other 2 chefs are doing great dishes. They're doing, I know one chef is doing the biscuits and gravy thing, like a fresh one. He's going to make them right in front of everyone. So I'm going to have to step up my game. Like, I'm watching their recipes come in, and I'm like, woo, I better, make sure my stuff's really good. So I'm very excited. Like, I've been in the industry a long time, and I never really got to work with, like, stellar chefs because it was always like, oh, you could lose your career, right? Yeah. And then now it's legal in a lot of states. So, like, it's a different thing, right? Yeah, so now we can full on get on, like, and just, we could do, like, a real nice competition and show. And I think all of the chefs that are involved really have good backing, and, like, I'm excited about the dishes that are going to come out. And I can't wait to watch.
Down.
I've been, like, the only one for, at least in California, for, like, a long time I was. And there was all these, newer chefs, but I used to, when Cannabis Planet was on, we would do them, every week or going all over and doing TV. So I was exhausted as an older person. So it's going to be
maybe we can get Mike Tyson involved in it, and the grand prize can be 7 days and 6 nights at his resort in California.
Yeah. Wow, man. Blaze is going to be cool, man. I'll be emceeing the event on stage there, so I'll get to see these dishes right up close, man, and we'll get some good video and bring it back to the show, too, and we'll report back. And maybe we'll have a follow-up call on what you thought of that Blaze event, because we definitely throw it down. We throw it down in Missouri. It's a blast, man. Right on.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I've never been out that way. I'm going to bring my fiance and everything. Like, it's going to be our first time heading to that part of, that ever. So we're excited.
Very cool. I can't wait to meet you. Chef Mike DeLeo from all over the place, man.
Well, no, but my website I'm going to be pushing, because I'm all about me now. Yay.
Oh, yeah, do it. Let's get that. Now let's get that out to them. Where can folks find you? And if you got any,
chefmike420.com.
chefmike420.com. You got any shout outs for your rework? You got any shout outs for your team, Chef?
I just want to say shout out to Eat Weed Catering. Thank you for always having my back. And then also to the Hem Hoba crew that is taking their formulas to the national level. Hopefully it'll work out.
Awesome stuff. Chef Mike, we appreciate you. We'll see you at Blaze.
All right.
What a wild conversation, man. I'll tell you what. The more we learn about cannabinoids and the more we learn about terpenes and things like flavonoids, the more education we get from this plant, the better off we are healthcare-wise as human beings.
Right. Very cool.
Nature is the answer.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yeah. So we do have a good friend of ours on the phone, right? Morgan, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. We got Morgan Coffee of Doctor's Hemp Solutions, one of our favorite products out there, man. Welcome back to the program, man.
So happy to be here. Great to talk to you all again.
Awesome. So let me set the listeners up real quick. The other day, Tim and I were having a conversation in the office there, grinding away, and we were talking about flavonoids, and we both realized real quick that we had absolutely no idea what a flavonoid was, what direction we could go with that education. And I thought, you know what, we'll call a subject matter expert, our good friend Morgan. You were at MoCannaFest with Doctor's Hemp Solutions, and so many people got to see those products and experience it, and we've gotten so many cool reviews from the Doctor's Hemp Solutions products. So can you take us on a flavonoid walk?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, MoCannaFest was one of the most beautiful times that I've had in a long time, so thanks for putting that on, man. I really appreciate it.
You betcha, man. Really, it was a blast.
Special. Yeah, absolutely. So, the flavonoids, it's a part of most plants. So, the beginning way to look at that, it's something that is an instant pollinator, so it attracts bees. So, one of the first things that we started looking at was, these flavonoids. It's so important, for pollination and everything else that we decided that, it was something that we needed to look into, especially in the cannabis plant, but any plant in general. So what we found was these flavonoids, they have so many different uses. So, anti-inflammatory, anti-parasitic, antimicrobial. It's just a wide range of things that these flavonoids do for the plant. So in looking at what that does for a plant, we also looked at what that does for the human body. We were lucky enough to, over the years, to figure out a way to extract these flavonoids from the cannabis plant and from other plants to where we are able to use those in the human aspect.
Wow. Hey, Morgan, we got to take a quick little station ID real quick, the legal ID. You're listening to K-Kid 92.9, Salem, Rolla. All right, let's keep on that flavonoid walk, buddy.
Got to keep the boss happy.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Morgan.
Right on.
You're good. Go ahead. We just had to do a quick station ID. You're good. No, you're good. Go ahead.
Awesome. So, the big thing that we found with these flavonoids after extracting them, through studies that have been done for many years is we're looking at 30 times more effective than any kind of NSAID, so aspirin or anything else. So the pain relief aspect of these flavonoids coming from plant material instantly gives us a better product than taking an aspirin or anything else.
Wow. So what you're telling me is that we could apply the exit drug strategy to flavonoids by replacing some of these pharmaceuticals out there, the lower temp pharmaceuticals like aspirin, Bayer products, things like that. We could replace that with a natural plant product.
Sure. I mean, that's one of the most important things, and what our company looks at is trying to replace things that are not natural with natural ways of doing things.
Right, and that's the thing about it. Holistic medicine is real, but there's a lot of snake oil out there when you talk about different ways that we can heal ourselves and all that. But when we break it down, flavonoids, cannabinoids, things like that, it ain't snake oil. These are effective medicines that have proven over the centuries to be valid. So it's really cool to see products like yours making the market and being able to be that replacement.
Absolutely. I mean, this plant is so important, and we're just beginning to learn exactly what this plant has for us and what it can do for us. I mean, in the flavonoid realm, we're looking at over 6,000 different flavonoids. Most of these are not tested for, nor are they understood yet. So this is the cutting edge aspect to this plant. But these are all natural things that occur daily in the plant, whether we use them or not. We're just figuring out how to isolate those and make this a reality for any kind of pain relief or inflammation.
Wild stuff. All right, well, I do want to give a big shout out to your products. Where can folks find those? Because I found a lot of relief. Even your Delta 8 spray, or your Delta 8 tincture, I've been using that for sleep, and I found some wonderful, wonderful quality to it.
Absolutely, man. I'm so glad that you're using it. Yeah, the best way to get these products is doctorshempsolutions.com.
Very cool. I want you guys to all head over there and check those out while you're listening to some jams that Steve's going to bring up for us. Morgan, we appreciate you, man, and all the knowledge that you bring to the show. We wouldn't have a show without an extremely wonderful array of guests like yourself, man, and your products are so wonderful. We appreciate you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, man. And Waxy22 is the discount code, 10% off anything anyone buys with that code. Thanks so much.
Waxy22, you got it, fam. We appreciate that. Go check them out, y'all, because I'm telling you right now, they're solid. That's my people. All right, you guys are listening to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour from the green wave to the airwaves. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, that cannabis talk radio show that y'all know and love, and we appreciate that. And we've got a good friend of ours in studio. We got Joey Carpenter of Camp Cannabis in St. Louis. What's up, Joey? Welcome back on, man. Hey, it's gonna be a good conversation. We've learned a lot on this show so far. Morgan gave us some really good information about flavonoids there, and it's interesting to me sometimes how cannabis can relate to so many other plants and pollination and all these great things. But what a wild time. So let's talk Camp Cannabis. All right. So we talked about, you guys got about 30,000 square feet growing. How many different strains you got going right now?
Right now, like
You can
in
guess.
circulation, like on shelves, we got ice wine, we got our Gorilla Dosha, we got our half pint, and did I say iceberg?
Yeah, you might have.
Okay, because we have a few ice strains out there, so it's kind of hard to keep track of which ones I'm saying.
Do you guys have like kind of an R&D area where you're testing out some new stuff?
Oh, we have a whole like propagation section, and like we have all our clones and our vegetation rooms and everything in our clone room.
Very cool.
We have all sorts of new strains coming out soon, and we just got some new ones in too, I do believe. So
Very good. In the ground. So you guys have a different kind of growing system out there, right?
yeah,
What do you-
compared to other companies.
What do you guys use for your medium out there? Talk to us a little bit about that.
So it's something that even like before I like came to camp, I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
It's rock wool. It's still a natural, like naturally occurring medium. I really don't know what it like exactly the process it is to like get it in the slab formation that we use it in.
Yeah.
And it's super convenient, like, to be honest.
It's
It
growing
eliminates
some pretty stuff.
Yeah, it eliminates a lot of process too. But there's still plenty of stuff, that
So
you
is
have
it
to
like
do to-
a 2.5 inch, 3 inch thick strip that you?
Yeah, roughly, probably
Or
about
more
that
of a brick
for-
type looking.
We have our little cubes of it,
Yeah, right,
and
yep,
then we
yep.
move those cubes into the slabs, and we put 3 planes per
Right.
slab.
And it's a wool product.
Yep.
Right. Yep. Wool cubes.
Very cool. Well, I don't like having folks on without letting them shout out some of their team members out there. So who at Camp Cannabis, man? Talk to us about some of the cats out there who are superstars, rock stars.
Yeah, as much dirt as you were giving us on your buddy Eddie. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah,
Give him some rep here.
That's my man right there. Yeah, Eddie. On Instagram, Show Me Roots. He's got all sorts of stuff going on. He's got sponsorship for his lights and whatnot, and he grows some extremely good product, and you can see his whole process on Instagram.
So you can you go on his Instagram and check out the Camp Cannabis there?
Yeah, you can follow Camp Cannabis. You can follow Camp Cannabis at Camp Cannabis. Sorry, my bad. At Let's Go Camp Brand.
Oh, very
on
cool.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Very, very cool. So I know I look forward to seeing Camp Cannabis out in this area. So I want you to let us know whenever it starts to hit the shelves out there. And I know you guys are in a couple different markets right now, a couple different spots.
Yeah, we're at Greenlight and 315 Primo.
Oh, very cool.
Locations around.
And
this
those are
area.
the dispensaries?
Yeah, those are the dispensaries.
So
we're
you
at
got
right
2
now.
dispensaries and the cultivation and hoping to get Infuse going here pretty soon, huh?
Well, Camp doesn't have a dispensary.
We don't have any dispensaries.
Oh,
per se.
okay.
They're in Greenlight dispensaries. So that's who's stocking their product there.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
and 315 Primo, which is
Okay.
pretty cool shop,
Okay,
too.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they control that, or not control, but they create that action.
Yeah.
They grow that plant, they move it on, manufacture it, and let those dispensaries be retailers.
Yeah, and Greenlight's got they've got some hot shelves, man. They've got a lot of good products out there. So I like the Greenlight crews too, because they seem to bring a real good level of education to the ball game too.
Yeah, they really do. Honestly, yeah, I walked in there shortly after I started working at Camp Cannabis because it's right up the road. And yeah, they walked me through like all their products, like how they actually in their location up there by our facility, they have video footage of their like live video footage of their grow.
Oh, very cool.
Like in Kansas City, I believe, is where it's at.
Now, you guys, is camp hand trimming? Or are they using machines or?
We actually just recently got a machine. Yeah. But yeah, no, we've been enjoying some trim time too.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I was thinking, Chef Mike DeLeo from the Netflix show there. He was talking about he's putting out a product that for chefs, right? That's a soap, and it's got the CBDs and all that. And I was just thinking to myself while he was talking about it, I'm like, you know, there's another group of cats out there who deal with some pretty sore hands and could use a product like that helps, and that's the trimmers out there. You know, that's not an easy job. You know.
Yep.
We need to get Chef Mike back on the line. Get him lined up.
I think it'd be interesting to learn about his juicing, and I mean, obviously he's into that. If he wrote a book on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd
2
be
books.
again. I think there's a huge health movement because because of our diets right now, right? And all the stuff that crap we eat.
Good stuff. Yeah.
There
yeah.
you go.
All good stuff. So we're going to catch another break. We got to pay some bills. When we get back, we're going to talk a little more Joey, and we got some friends that are going to be on the line. We got Ron Bass coming up as well as Ray from Weed Weather and whatever. Let's talk more when we get back, y'all. You're listening to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour. We'll be right back.
Hi.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour on KKID 92.9, where it's a dab star state of mind. We got a good friend of mine, Ron Bass, on deck in Alaska. We're going to talk about culture. Ron, welcome to the show, my friend.
How you doing, man? You hear me all right?
Oh, yeah, we hear you great, man. Yeah, perfect.
Heck yeah.
So for the folks out there on the YouTube, Ron's sitting outside there in Alaska at his house there on his property, and man, what a beautiful, beautiful place it is. And I want to talk about that, man. Alaska is it's a recreational market, correct?
Yeah, it's all wreck up here, man.
So what's that scene feel like on deck there in Alaska? Because we're a medical state here, about to go into a recreational market, but every state kind of has its unique culture. Can you take us kind of on a walk what that culture looks like there?
You know what, man? Okay, so this is what happened here, right? So the culture before, we had the medical marijuana here, for years and years and years, and then finally everybody's like, yeah, let's do recreational. It seems like when they put it to recreational, there's a lot of culture lost in the people, if that makes sense. It's hard to explain, but like when it goes fully rec, people, it seems like the passion to grow themselves, a lot of the passion gets dropped, and that's something that I'm totally against. I'm all about passion, right?
Sure.
So I'm on a rec market, but I'm still pushing hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what I think happens is the passion gets lost when in rec market because money gets involved, right?
Right.
And then when money gets involved, then these guys come in, and then but it's a thriving market up here, man. And people are getting the help they need. You know what I mean? I own a dispensary up here.
You own a dispensary, Ron?
Yeah, it's called Houston Grass Station.
Oh, that's right. You got the grass station. I forgot about that. Yeah, dude, that's dope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of refer to cats like you as kind of protectors of the culture, because you're right. Like, it can get lost in the biz side of it, because there's this giant industry that rolls in, right? And like, we kind of want to remember where we come from, which is we come from first off, we come from a very policed culture, but there's also that side of it where trailblazers, like, let's just name a few, like Cheech and Chong or Wilfred or any of those characters out there that were trailblazing. Yeah, the pioneers. Yeah,
Yeah.
Before all this, there was traditional markets, and there was jail, and there was possession charges, and there was all this nastiness that came with prohibition. And guys like you were out there still preaching about the power of the plant. And so it's really cool to see you as a part of that, being able to have your space.
Okay, man, check this out. So I had the first limited grow room in the state of Alaska, recreational level ever. Like, I was the first one ever in the Matanuska Valley, and that's why I'm so hard on Matanuska, Thunderfuck, and all that. This is where I'm from, bro. This runs through my veins, dude,
Yeah.
And, all the old boys that grew the MTF and all that, that's who trained me. Well, that's who taught me how to grow and what to do, so that's where all the passion came from there, and I've been traveling all around, man, and it just seems like the recreation, the Delta 8, all that stuff, it's putting a hurting on the actual passion. So the thing where I see the passion in the people is where these events, you know what I mean? The events are helping, bro. What didn't you said you had an event?
Yeah, we had MoCannaFest was April 1st. We had we were expecting probably about 1,500 people. Ended up 4,500 people showed up. Dab stars were on deck, man, creating that vibe and setting that scene, man.
Yep. All right. So which one did you have coming up here soon that I was gonna come to? I wanted to come to too. What were you calling it?
So I can't talk about that one yet. That's you're on that inside track. But yeah, for the listeners out there, we've got something insanely exciting that we're going to be announcing, and it's
and you're just jonesing to bring it out, aren't you?
I can't, man. I can't. Though. You know what though? My marketing dude would choke me out if I even mention it. Yep.
Don't do it. What I'm saying is this easy. I'm gonna be there.
I know you will.
Hard.
Yeah,
that's it.
And that's true.
gonna go hard, bro. Dab Star is gonna be in the motherfucking building.
Whoa, we got that FCC that building here, but
Okay.
But
So,
Let's change the subject, please.
but yeah, so I want to bring that up, man. We had Dab Stars at Mocana Fest, and I think that every scene, every event needs these cats there because it's a different kind of culture. Like you think Dab Star, and you think like rock stars or this, that, and the other, but it's actually not that. When you go to the Dab Star tent, you're actually going to experience not just the medicinal and adult use side of things in the scene, but you're also going to get an education. When I know when you guys have these lines of folks that come up and talk to you, I know that they're not just getting hey, these are cool people. They're getting this is endocannabinoid science. This is how to take care of your rig. This is how to use this medicine. Talk about why that's important. Why that's important to bring that education as well as a cultural vibration.
well, it all comes down. I mean, if you want to know the truth of the Dab Star part, is Jonah Tacoma is the one that came up with this, and I got multiple sclerosis, and he has multiple sclerosis, and we're brothers, bro. And period. Like that's how we think of each other. Like we're family. So the whole thing is when we talk to people like that, it's not like we write it down. It's not like we're trying to impress people. We want to be there for people because we're sick too, straight up, and we use this medicine instead of opiates and different things that could really hurt us. And I'd be dead by now, man. They gave me 4 months to live 10 years ago, dude. I didn't have none of this. Look at all this crap. I built this house on the lake. You know what I mean? All this stuff. And here's the thing: is Jonah inspired me. He came in my life, and he's, he showed me, we can go on these stages, we can influence people, we can get because really what it is we're taking the people's energy. If they come to our booth, we're taking your energy and we're giving it right back, all figured out. If that makes any sense at all.
Makes total sense, bro. You're taking the pieces of the puzzle, putting them together, and showing everybody how this works, man.
Be like, hey, and I talk to people all the time. Be like, okay, what do you have? And it's not like I'm a doctor. I know what I'm doing, but I do know what I'm doing because I've been around it. I'm sick. I deal with medicine. So I'm like, hey, what's sativa, indica? Delta 8, maybe sometimes for some sleep. I don't know. Like, there's so many different things you can talk about, but when you care about what somebody's saying, it's easy. All the answers are simple. You just want the best for them. You got their heart and interest. Dab Stars has people's hearts and interest, and that's why it's so big. You know what I mean?
That's absolutely true, man. Your path to cannabis inspires me, my friend, because you have such a great path because cannabis was in your life for a long time, but your story and the way cannabis became medicine to you as well as culture is absolutely inspiring, and we're just so wonderful to have you here, man.
Here, dude, listen to this. You ready for this?
Do it.
All right. 10 years ago, they gave me 4 months to live. This eyeball was pointed that way. Like, it was that bad. My brain was so swollen. This eye was pointed forward. I was 28 years old. I didn't smoke marijuana until I was 28 years old, man. And that's a lot of people don't know that, but it's true. So what happened was they were trying to give me a bunch of these opiates and stuff and like all this stuff. And they're like, you have 4 months to live. And I was like, no, I do not. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But I was a drinker back then. I drank back then my whole life, right? Or until I was like 20, I wouldn't smoke though. So then they were trying to give me all these opiates and all this stuff. This will help and like this MS medication and all this stuff. Well, I started smoking weed, man. And I started doing edibles and stuff. And then so any sickness, I mean, multiple sclerosis, because that's what I have is multiple sclerosis, is the worst for multiple sclerosis is inflammation. That's what multiple sclerosis is inflammation, right? So I started, manipulating my mind, playing Tetris and being like, all right, and looking on the internet of what is the worst thing for inflammation, right? I looked it up. Guess what it is? It's very simple. Sugar. So I'm about to blow your mind. So what I did is I weighed about 330 pounds. This is all, not with doctors. This 10 years ago. They didn't tell me this stuff, right? What's the worst thing for inflammation? Sugar. I said, okay, well then no sugar for me. I stopped eating sugar, bro. I mean, I'm talking added sugar, right?
Right.
So no sodas, no nothing. I eat fruit. Oh, that's my sugar is fruit, right? I'll eat, if I need a bowl of ice cream, I'm about to freak out, I'll eat fruit and it's all good. It's not a big deal. no caffeine. No, my word is no, right?
Right.
I lost 100 pounds, dog, and I got my vision back. You know what I'm saying? My eyes are straight. hey, you want to know where my energy comes from, bro? Straight up, look at this, dude. I got a 6,000 square foot house. I got a farm over here, beautiful wife. I have an island out there, dude. The address is MTF Island, bro. I'm saying I did all this after that. Can you imagine them telling you you're gonna die in 4 months, and then you create all this stuff in their face and laugh?
No, that's a beautiful story. That's a
Bro,
beautiful story.
this is real. I didn't make that up. You can't make that story up, homie.
No, I get it, man. I get it.
You
And
know?
that's absolutely wild, man. I have to say, like, you talk about what happens when you get your endocannabinoid system raring. Like, I think of it like a NASCAR car, right? The better the fuel that you put in it, the better the lubricants, the better all that, the better that car is going to drive. When I look at you, my friend, I see an endocannabinoid system that's like a race car, ready to rock and roll all the time, ready to do whatever life needs you to take care of, your family, your pets, your plants, all that, man. I'm so proud of you and what you're doing out there.
Thank you, bro. So I'm gonna blow your mind a little bit too. I'm gonna say this, but I sort of don't mean it 100%. Marijuana has nothing to do with medical. What it does is bring your body to homeostasis so your body can fight it itself. That's how I want people to actually visualize what marijuana is and what it's about.
Wow.
It'll bring your body to homeostasis so your body can fight itself. Because what you do is you get super stressed out, bro. When you're sick, you get so stressed out, you can't understand what's going on. You can't do it because weed's not gonna help. If you're not drinking enough water, bro, weed's not gonna help you.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're not gonna take enough showers. You're not gonna, you're gonna get in this depressing mode because you're so stressed out, right? So you're not gonna do things that eat properly, do these things that's gonna make you better unless your mind is right. So marijuana brings yourself to homeostasis so you can do the right things to make yourself better. That's what weed does, bro.
Wow. That's what I'm talking about. We appreciate you, brother. We appreciate you very much for having you on the show. We're going to catch a quick break. I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, man. Dab stars forever. Hey, Ron, I'm proud of you, brother.
I appreciate you, bro.
I'm glad you're here. Yeah, man. That's right. All right, we'll catch you next time. All right, when we get back, we got Ray from Weed, Weather, and Whatever on. That's going to be a blast, guys. You're listening to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour on K-Kid. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, where we are feeling all right. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
All right. For my listeners out there, we got Ray from Weed, Weather, and Whatever, our ray of sunshine out there in Kansas City doing the podcast Weed, Weather, and Whatever. Check that out there on your phones while you're listening if you get a chance, and go over and like her on the socials there, because I'll tell you what, we all have, I want to talk about this for a second, Ray. We've got different, we just had Ron Bass on from Dab Stars. He was talking about Alaskan culture, but I want to kind of break this down with you a little bit about the Missouri culture. And because Kansas City, I just went to that event out there with Top Shelf with Big V and Zach.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, if you cats out there listening, check out Top Shelf with Big V and Zach. It's a really cool podcast, doing their thing. They get a lot of views because they bring education and information. And they threw a really cool event there, and they've got some other events coming as well. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about Kansas City culture, and then I'll talk a little bit about the Ozarks and St. Louis and how I feel about that out here. But how do you feel about that Kansas City culture? Because I definitely think it had a different kind of vibe out there in a good way.
Man, it's crazy because, like, I haven't really been to a lot of events outside of Kansas City, but this community, and I'll give it to this city, like, we've been pushing hard for the last, 2 years to stay, what's the word, just as a community, I guess.
Sure.
So for the last 2 years, we've kind of been building this whole, group of people together, and it's cool because pretty much every event you go to out here, they're all there.
Yeah, that's real. I'm part of. I know your hubby Ricky. Ricky Starling. He's got a group out there that I know you guys are heavily involved with, Missouri Cannabis Network, which I'm a part of, and I'm blessed to be a part of that because, man, I'll tell you, so much education gets flowed through the socials that you guys and your team are doing. So it's really cool to see you guys out there at these events, gathering that information and just meeting with everybody.
Yeah, it's fun, man. That's what we love to do.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
When I think of Kansas City, though, I think of her as the culture because of her spirit.
She does have that vibe. That yo, I'm boss weed lady around here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And then there's Ricky, got his backpack on, just having fun, being him.
Yeah. I said one smart mouth thing on Facebook about 2 years ago about what's the rapper up there, Tech Nine, and man, she launched on me. She's like, you need to watch it. We're up here. We're watching you. You better watch what you say about our people. I'm like, yo, this lady's.
Oh man, Tech, we have a thing, man. You can't mess with Tech.
But yeah, I think out here in the Ozarks, we got just a little bit different of a feel. I think we kind of got that campground mentality out here, that festival scene, that we like banjos out here as well as Tech Nine. It's kind of like, it's a different I didn't say Deliverance, man.
No, I do think the same thing, though. It's a very, camping culture down there, and, almost beach kind of culture.
Yeah, we got that lake life. We got the rivers. Steve, how many swag stocks did you go to out there at Camp Zoe?
At Camp Zoe, I did not miss one.
So how many is that?
Well, it was 10 years. There were 6 for 60.
Oh, wow.
Went on for 10 years, and there's usually 6 shows per year, starting in April and ending in October with Spookfest. We had April 20th, close to the weekend of April 20th was a spring jam. And then,
those were my favorite.
And then usually 4 swag stocks in the summer, and then it wound up with spook stock at the end of the October on Halloween weekend.
Yeah,
those were the ones, Waxy, where they would bring in the football size tent. They'd have a tent come in and they'd set it up
those.
so it would be inside because based on weather, and if they had rolled the sides up on the tent, and so.
Those are some of the best shows inside that tent. I had a good time. I can't remember who it was I saw in there. Was it Great American Taxi? No, was it? I can't even remember. Oh, good. Donna Jean. Oh, it was New Riders, and Donna Jean from the Dead.
And then who did Jimmy go out and play with? The keyboard player. He was actually in Jerry Garcia's band, and then when Jerry died,
Melvin Seals.
Yeah, Melvin Seals.
Oh yeah, Melvin
remember when-
Seals
yeah.
is fire, dude.
Yeah, Melvin.
Well, no, Melvin Seals puts it on. So that's the point, though. Like the culture out here is just a little bit different. We like to dance to some Grateful Dead music and like Hammond organs and like and on the river and like it's just and Kansas City. Their big event under there, it was under a bridge, right? So it had that vibe, and there was older municipality looking buildings that some of these portions of the event were held in, and it was really cool because I felt like we were in the middle of like not only traffic but like in the middle of the city throwing down this big party, like, and so
go back 100 years. In the early 20s when they were probably doing the same thing you guys were doing out there.
Before Prohibition, yeah. I wonder what Ray would have been like in the 20s. Like
Wild.
The roaring
She
20s.
said same as I am now.
The roaring Ray 20s, baby. Come on.
The roaring Rays.
Think of the value of the cook at that time. Chefs would be making a lot more money.
Yeah, man. I don't know if you were listening earlier, Ray, but we had Chef Mike DeLeo from Netflix's Cooking on High, which is a really cool show. But
I've seen that.
Oh yeah, the dude is dope. But that was it was really cool to hear about the culture from his perspective of someone who has food as medicine and so is cannabis. So like providing those two-in-one things. So if you guys are able to make it out there to the Blaze event, that's happening June 3rd and 4th up there in Union Station, which I know is far from KC, but it's going to be wild. And we'll get to see what that St. Louis scene is like, right? We'll be putting it on right there at Union Station, which is a beautiful, beautiful place, right?
Yeah, man.
And so I never thought, I used to go to ice cream events when I was a kid there. My dad would take us to these big ice cream day, and it was like 50 vendors of all ice cream. And we'd walk around, K-Shi sponsored it. It was a wild time. And now I'm grown, and I get to have my kind of ice cream, which is cannabis. We'll have some, and Doc Z will be there.
I think they used to actually launch the K-Shi balloon rides or the balloon races from there too. You remember the K-Shi balloon races and
I
stuff?
forgot about those. Yeah,
wow.
so
that's bringing them back our age there, man.
I know Doc Z at Health City, that's and Radiance Clinic, they're some of our top sponsors. They're going to be at Blaze set up doing the mocktails, the Hail Mary mocktails, and those are cannabis drinks, and they're delicious.
Oh, they're so good.
Oh, you've had them? Oh, you did?
I had them at the last event. They're so good.
They handled the VIP party at Top Shelf's event, Big V and Zach and Stu's event. That was wild, man. Which big shout out to those guys. They've teamed up with Coco Labs to put out Top Shelf Artisans and dank extracts. I'm super stoked about that.
Awesome.
But yeah, man, that's gonna be a wild scene. So we'll get to see what St. Louis is like. I think it's gonna be really cool because I know those chefs are gonna be there, and they're serving medicated food there, which is gonna be pretty wild. And they've got some the mocktails and all that. So the vibes are gonna be set right. So we'll see how it looks and how it feels. We'll do lots of socials from it and check it out. But I want you guys to check that out. Yeah.
Make it happen.
I want you guys to check out Midwest Canna Expos out there. Check those guys out when you get off the show here. And I also want you to check out their events because I'm emceeing the Blaze event. It's going to be a blast. So make sure you guys check that out. All right. Well, it's been a heck of a show. We've had some celebrities, some superstars. And by celebrities, I do mean Ray.
Amen.
That's right. That's right. And as well as some minor Netflix people. We won't talk about those when we're talking about Ray. But
actual celebrities.
Just kidding. What a blessing. What a blessing that this culture has a home here at K-Kid. We really appreciate that, Steve. Good time. And we've had Joey Carpenter from Camp Cannabis. Thanks for coming on the show, man. Thanks for telling us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, telling your story and talking about Camp Cannabis. You guys make sure you guys support that company. It's like he said, they're a startup. They need some help, so let's go smoke their flower. That sounds like a good time.
There you go. Look for it in a dispensary near you soon, right?
That's right.
There you go.
Cannabis.
Go ahead and get it at a 315 Primo or a Greenlight dispensary now.
That's right.
Right.
And Greenlight's everywhere. Check them out, y'all. All right, guys, it's been a wonderful show. You guys have been listening to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour. That's that Cannabis Talk radio show that we know you love. We'll catch you guys next week. You're listening to K-Kid 92.9 Salem Rolla.
Ray, have a good afternoon.
Love you, Ray.
You too. Love you guys.
See you later.
Stay waxy, y'all.
We'll be back, Waxy and I, in the morning.
Yeah, make sure you guys plug in that morning show. We have a good time from 7 to 9.